Tomahawk's a tool which you would use for both hammering and chopping. For the field, there's about 1 million different uses for a tomahawk. It's been largely forgotten about it. The major difference between an axe and a tomahawk is weight. And again, a tomahawk is the lightest version of axe. The weight issue becomes very, 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 very serious as the more you go on. So this one here fills requirements. It's very inexpensive. This is not a fighting weapon. It can be used as a fighting weapon, but it's primarily a tool. So that's very important to remember. To go with that, you can come up with a Calder Ridge keyring solution that you can use to hold your tomahawk, something you can attach to your webbing or belt once you're in the field. Now, near the top of the bag, you want to make sure you keep a hat, an actual black ball cap, not a boonie hat. This is for disguise purposes. Behold how different I look now that I have this ball cap on. Barely recognizable. In fact, if you take a wig and cut it, you can glue hair on the inside of each side of the ball cap. And when you put it on, you can put on a dopey expression, perhaps lose your glasses, and you look like your standard hippie. They like it when you look all doe-eyed, you know, so this is how you get optically scanned. And there's never a problem. You know, that's how you just kind of drift through airport security. No one will notice the bag. Just look really docile. You'll be fine, especially with a ball cap on. A little quirky slogan on it, something like that, you know. Now into the coat, loose and in layers again. So there's two parts of the coat. If you're just cold, I recommend getting a fleece. Polar fleece is amazing. Everybody makes a polar fleece. Make sure it's got long sleeves. Have it zip up in the front so you can just throw it on, okay? If I was starting to get cold, oh, ooh, I'm cold. Look at me. Oh, prissy. Now I'm a little bit warmer now. But oh, wait, oh, it's windy or it starts to rain and I'm worried about wrecking my hair. You can put on your rain jacket. Now this particular rain jacket, I believe, is a Marine Corps night operations coat. I could be wrong on that one there. It's a great jacket, but when used in conjunction with the fleece, you can use it on its own if you just need to have something to get at. But when you use it with the fleece, it actually produces a pretty comprehensive jacket system. When you use the entire package together, a little bit extra hair, looking docile, no problem. Walking through the airport, undistinguishable from any other person. You'd be able to fly anywhere in the Middle East like that, no problem. Now that you have everything as compressed as you can possibly go, you take all your things that are in bags and compressed and put them in bags and compress them. You take your laundry bag, lay it out. This laundry bag is very, very strong, but the advantage of a laundry bag, it doesn't matter if it gets wet. It's designed to have things in it so it gets wet. So this forms a barrier as you pack your bag, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. You take your garbage bag. You place your garbage bag inside the laundry bag. Garbage bags on their own have very, very little strength, but if you reinforce them with the nylon from the laundry bag, it gets very, very, very strong very quickly. Now this is going to become the sack that all of your gear fits into before you actually place it inside the bag. What we do is you take all of your gear, you know the size of your bag that you're packing. You can kind of measure it up, see how things are going to fit in there, and then you have to imagine how things are going to sit inside the bag. This is a rather lengthy process. You have to puzzle it all together so that when you pack the bag, everything has even weight. It's not going to be shifting around on you, because you could be running for quite some time. So every bag packs differently, but it's important that you scale it. You make sure that you got this here when you have it all laid out the way you want. This isn't perhaps the way I'd lay it out, but this is an example. Lay it all out like this, compress it all down, and you know that it's got to fit in with certain parameters of your backpack. Then you slide this bag over the whole top of it like a snake and stuff everything on the inside. So what you wind up is a full bag, and then that goes inside your back, inside the actual AWOL bag itself. Now when you have a lot of gear that you're putting in a bag and you're not too sure if you're going to be able to force the whole thing in there, keep your bag at the ready. When you make that logical and very clever decision, you're not going to be able to stuff everything in the bag and then inside the other bag. Take your garbage bag, grab the end of it here, stuff it in the bottom of your bag, the AWOL bag. Make sure your laundry bag doesn't flow over the top, or it doesn't get pushed down the side rather, and you get your garbage bag here as such. Now at this point here, you've got to somehow figure out a way to weasel everything into this bag, because it's going to be sitting like that for quite some time. You want to keep your laptop readily accessible. You want to make sure, because you're going to be keeping in your backup discs if you keep them inside the laptop. If not, you can always slide it in or slide it out of the top of the bag. I can't pack this bag without having a laptop near the base, so it's a good idea to just throw the disc in the top with the small part section. But you'll be seeing that near the end here. Never be weak with the bag. The bag wishes to master you. You must master the bag. Okay. Now you must never ever have a bladed implement inside of the bag, because when you're compressing the bag, the blade will cut your very essential and life-saving gear. So when you have a bladed implement that you want to keep separate and packed ready to go, you always put it on the outside of the bag and either use another pouch or whatever to tie it down tight. What I do with this one is I bracket it in, use the extra strapping, and use the strapping that comes with it to secure it to the bag so that it will not roll around. It won't hit you while you're basically cut up your gear while you're running around. You'll notice here that I have the blade pointing towards the back and not towards my shoulders when I throw it on, but ideally you want to build yourself some kind of a custom guard here, so you want to cover that up so while you're in transport you're not going to cut up your gear. I always keep my tools on the outside because that'll be the first thing you need to access when setting up your site. You want to nail down some pegs, whatever. You want to make sure you keep your tomahawk readily accessible. Make sure you keep all of your small items near the top of the bag, because that's, you know, things like a radio, whatever. You don't have to pull your whole bag apart. Try to prioritize last thing you need to the first thing you need. Last thing you need to the first thing you need. That's always the way you pack any bag, be it your work bag, an AWOL bag, what have you. Now, in this particular circumstance, an AWOL bag is going to be in storage for a long time. It's important to remember you're not carrying an AWOL bag around with you. Your AWOL bag is at a specific location. Should things go wrong, you must always be able to get to that location, get your AWOL bag, and good to go. A lot of people keep them in their car. Very good idea. Make sure you keep it inside the car, not in the trunk, because it could get mildewed or damaged in the back. So if you're going to drive around with an AWOL bag in the car, put it in the back seat, put the seat belt on it. It's your friend. It's there to keep you company. So you should treat it that way. Ah! Some librarian guy, I don't know what the hell. So this gets closed in here. Now I always like to keep my fleece and my jacket outside of the waterproof membrane inside the bag, because this is, chances are, the most common thing you're going to go for. You want to keep the jacket, the hat, and the fleece outside, because realistically, if you're on the run, you got to move, you got to cover yourself, you may as well have your outside coverings very easily accessible at the top. Now that's, again, just my particular choice. I always put my first aid kit as the first thing inside the membrane. That doesn't mean you have to do that, okay? That's just the way I do it. It's also a really good idea to take your batteries out of all your electronics before you put them in there. This prevents radios from just starting to play. This is the AWOL bag complete. Again, a completely nondescript, very easily concealable bag in a civilian workplace. You could take it with you at your cubicle, you could leave it in your car, you could take it with you shopping. It's really not that conspicuous, but it's always good to have it nearby. Because of the weight issue, it may be difficult to carry with you, but you want to have it nearby, because this is the object which will keep you alive after whatever is going to happen will happen. And we all know that's going to happen. Now, in conjunction, you have to join this to the second component of the AWOL bag, which is your MOC pack, Mobile Operations Command. Now, once you have the MOC pack all together and you're ready to put it on your device or your bag, a lot of people like to put their heavier items on the top of the bag so that when they do the your heavy areas up on top, so it kind of conditions itself more. That's kind of a personal preference thing you got to remember on your body type. I like to attach mine to the top, but in this particular bag, because it's got the carry straps here, it's best to attach it to the bottom. On the base of this bag are some straps that are designed for attachment. These ones here, although designed probably for not quite the heavy use that I'm using them for, I would reinforce these with bungee cords or what have you. These ones are strong enough just for basic attachment to place it here. If I was going to do any long range ruck work though, I'd want to make sure I strap that in with additional strapping that you would put on yourself. Remember, it's your kit. You should modify it so that it works for you better. Hi there, welcome to Cooking with Sean. My name's Sean, And today we're going to be going over the most essential things that everybody overlooks. Generally, the days of when you would sit down with your family and eat a meal at the table are gone. The family structure has completely been destroyed, and now people are eating whenever they can. They eat unbroken meals, things of that nature. That's because of this, you're not eating clean food. You're putting all kinds of toxins into your body, and it's just going to build up over time, and eventually it's going to bite you in the ass. When you turn 50 or something like that, you'll have all sorts of cancers and colons and all the rest of it. So the first step to controlling what you eat is to be aware of what you eat. The way I've done it, and the way, because I lost a bunch of weight and I'm feeling a lot better about myself, the way I managed to pull it off that worked for me is I got myself a tray, which sounds funny, but you get yourself a food tray that you load all your gear up on, and wherever you're working, if you're on the computer or you're out in the shop or whatever you're doing, okay, you have one set that where you always have it on your tray. It's right there. Your tray goes with you wherever you go, and if ever you're hungry, you just grab a snack, you put drinks on this tray, and then from there, once you have a set location where you keep all your food that goes with you, you can control the kind of food that's on there. You look at the food that's on there and goes, wow, I really don't need to drink, an entire 6-pack of Coke every 15 minutes. And you start to bring it down, you start drinking more water, and gradually you alter your food so it's healthy food, so you have control of what you put in your body. But the first step is, I believe, the tray. Tray is very simple. You can get trays anywhere. There's plastic trays, wood trays. I use like this little Japanese antique one I bought. It's just a simple, basic wood tray. If ever I'm working at the computer or whatever, because you know what it's like, eh? If you haven't got a tray, you'll bring your food in there, you put it online, you're all doing your thing, and then bang, you hit something and it goes everywhere. So it's better if you have a set location. You can take with you, you put it down when you're watching TV, you bring it up, put it on the floor, and that way when you're done, you haven't got wrappers everywhere, and that's a whole nother bit of whack too. I mean, really, we throw away way too much. We should have dishes and all the rest of it. So when you're gonna go buy a tray, it should be personal. It should be, this is your stuff, man. This is what, when you set up your mock center and all the rest of it, you might want to bring your tray out there so you got your food. You can pick it up, you can walk around, you can put your stuff on there, you got your grub, you can sit down, you can relax. Some people, you can get trays that have folding legs on them that pop right down, and you can be out in the field doing your thing, right on. But you got to be able to control what you eat, because everybody needs to eat, but no one seems to have any control over that. So the first thing I did was I got myself a tray. Now, bear in mind, the best place to go to get any of this stuff is never, ever buy anything from sets. Go to thrift stores. Don't go to these, go to like these liquidation places where they have one-ofs, and they have all these different kind of designer places where the items they design suck or nobody bought them or whatever. So they have these really weird one-of design things, and you just need to get certain things that you enjoy that you'll put on your tray. It's all personalized. There's nothing wrong with having personalized stuff. No, everyone wants, I just want to be like my neighbor. If I have a power outage, I'm really upset, but as long as my whole block goes out of power, then I guess it's okay. Bullshit. It doesn't work like that. You got to be individual. You are yourself. You got to be aware of yourself and what you want, what your desires are, and fuck everyone else. So I use just this basic, simple wood tray. There's advantages to wood, to plastic, whatever. I like it because it's kind of retro. I think it's nice. Next thing I managed to get my hands on was this handy dandy stainless steel bowl. I use this as a chip bowl. Your chip bowl, I mean, if you get anything that's, I like things that are generally a little bit tougher. A chip bowl's handy, but the added benefit of this chip bowl is it works with everything else very, very well. If you have a bowl that you eat from, or a plate or whatever, it should be ceramic, it should be handmade, and you should know the person who made it. There's all kinds of local potters, there's all kinds of people who are, throwing clay, little craft shops. You can get some really cool stuff. You know what? You should enjoy eating. It's kind of a sacred act. So what I use is I use a bowl that was made by a lady named Linda Bishop is her name, and I don't know if she's got a website or what, but she's just this little person who makes pottery stuff, and it's just a straight up pottery bowl. What I found is cool is that this bowl here fits inside my stainless steel bowl. So that's cool. When you put your wok food in there, you nuke it all up in the microwave, take it out, your bowl's 10 billion degrees, drop one bowl inside the other one, and you can eat it without burning your hands or whatever. Just an interesting idea, and if you've got two things, then fine, you put it down, you got your chips there or whatever. So that's how I keep it. So you got your bowl, and of course you want to have a cover for it, because at the beginning of your day, you're going to make your food all at once, right? And then you're going to go into wherever your desk is, you're going to sit down, you're going to eat. You don't want to have to keep getting up to go, because you're losing time then. You got stuff to do. So just leave it on the tray, put a cover on it, keeps your stuff warm, everything's cool. Really basic stuff. Now, the spoon. The spoon is the item that is so underrated, it's not even funny. Spoons are rad, because if you need a knife to eat your food, you're generally eating the wrong food. Think about it. You've got to chew the stuff up anyway, so it should probably be soft. That's why wok foods, you got your ground round, you got your rice, you got your salsa in there. You can eat all that with a spoon. I steal spoons from Earl's restaurant, because they have really strong spoons like this. That's a badass spoon. And a lot of commercial spoons from restaurants are made thicker and stronger, and they're free. So you can get one of those. A stainless steel measuring spoon. This is for making your fast drink, because when you measure it out, naturally you need to make sure you get 4 tablespoons in there and all the rest. It's always good to have a single tablespoon for when you're preparing your tray. You can prepare an entire tray in less than 20 minutes, by the way, and you'll be able to eat all day off of one tray and have food that you like there. After that, you want to get yourself a nice thermos. Boil some water, put it in your thermos, put it on your tray. The reason why you do that is so that you've got hot water. If you want to take your coffee mug, throw some instant coffee in there, you've got hot coffee right now. Coffee is a funny thing. Instant coffee has more caffeine than regular coffee. A lot of people don't realize that, but you gotta understand the way they make coffee is there's coffee that's lower on the mountain that they spray with gasoline and all that kind of stuff. The really crappy coffee has super high caffeine, very low flavor, but you want to use instant coffee, and that way you can regulate how strong it is and all the rest of it. Very, very bad for you, but it does make you go fast. So for a coffee cup, I got one of those little ones that you can like take the bottom off and make your own design. I just printed out for my little burning monk guy because I think it's about the coolest symbol ever. And you know, that way you've got a little thermos in there. You can make a cup of soup in this, but you keep that there. I usually keep a package. I'll drop the dust of instant coffee in here. You leave that in there, and then when you're ready for the coffee, you just pop your lid, right? Pour it in. You got your instant coffee. You're good to go. Give her a quick shake because it all seals up. Bang! Instant coffee ready to rock. Now, nothing is worse than not having any sweets. That sucks. So I find that sweets make you fat. I've eaten a lot of sweets. I got very fat. So the way I got around that was get a small bowl and fill it up really high with sweets, because that way you feel like you're eating a ton. But if you fill up this bowl with sweets, you'll be fat. So you want to get yourself a nice small bowl. I usually eat chocolate, and you must not eat chocolate that has a lot of preservatives in it. Chocolate on its own, like natural chocolate with no preservatives, is super rich, gets rid of that sweets craving like that. You only eat like 3 or 4 chunks and you're done, okay? Also, there's all kinds of really weird kind of properties to natural chocolate from Mexico, like the stuff that goes off in a week. Yeah, it kind of has a funky effect. You almost get kind of high off of that sort of chocolate. So I highly recommend that. And of course, you gotta have your fast drink, and all of your drinks should be in sealable containers. If you spill it, it knocks over, whatever. Things happen, you know, your cat's messing with you, whatever. You wanna make sure you're not dumping all your liquids all over all your sensitive electronics. Have your fast drink with you, so if you've eaten all your food and you're still hungry, drop the fast drink and it'll take away the pain, right? Make the pain stop. As well, no tray is ever worth a damn unless you have a beer. Now there's a whole selection of beers you can choose from. For God's sakes, get yourself a beer that's made in Belgium. Do not drink domestic beer. It's crap. The North American population have no idea what they are doing with beer. Oh my God. And there's no reason why you have to drink a 6-pack of beer. If you have to drink a 6-pack of beer, you're a redneck. So what I would do is, if you're just going to be out there during the day, you want to have a nice cold beer, right on. You know, why not? And it's only $4 more to get the really good beer. Why don't you just buy the good beer? You know, I've never understood that. People pay $8 for a mocha latte, frappa, whatever, latte, but they want, oh, that beer's too expensive. I'm going to pay, you know, the beer for, you know, an entire case for $2. Well, that's got to be healthy. Natural beer is made from like water, barley, hops, yeast. Thanks for coming out. It's actually kind of healthy. You can, yeah, I could call that healthy. I could call that healthy. So is red wine. Good red wine, well, cheap red wine's better than pop. Like, pop is the Antichrist, okay? Any kind of cola is the devil. Especially things like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, any of the ones that are like infiltrating our schools and turning our children into mindless drones. Yeah, those are evil. So pop is really, really bad. If you don't listen to anything else I say in Patrolling with Sean Kennedy and you give up drinking pop, wow, have I ever won. There's all kinds of better things that make you go faster. Coffee makes you go faster, instant coffee, shitty coffee, whatever kind of coffee you want. But for God's sake, stop drinking pop. Besides, if you get coffee and beer, you get the same effect. But anyway, that's all it is for my tray. That's simple. You're ready to go. Got your gear. Head to your study. My name's Sean Kennedy. I am the fucking man. Sometimes, as we go on throughout our internet filming experience, Sim and I, you know, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Anyway you cut this, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on my end because I have to cook up concepts, and you know, with low, no budget, we have to try to make some entertainment for you guys and get it out as quick as we can. Everybody's got full-time jobs, and it's tiring. It makes you tired, and it makes you really, really weary. And any of you who are thinking as WOGs that you want to make a difference, you want to do a zine or whatever, it's a very rewarding experience. I fully encourage you to do. If you don't just don't do something that's already been done. Don't do yet another shoutcast station. You should be doing your own things, like maybe set up an FRS radio station, or maybe run, you know, an actual pirate radio station, or maybe you could put up posters or leaflets, or just circulate, you know, Rant media. As you know, everything's freely distributed. You can burn these to CD, hand them out. These are things that everyone should do. But as you do these things and you become involved in the struggle and the conflict to free the mind, it begins to wear on you after a while, and it's hard to recharge. And Sim, I mean, he puts in long, long hours hours to try to bring these episodes to you, and not only this, but I mean all the other projects that are on the go at Rant Media. So sometimes it's very easy to lose focus, and it's easy to lose the reason why you do the things you do. I got a letter from Australia that was mailed to me from a fan. In that letter, it was a very touching letter, but in that letter, this fan, who I'm not going to name for security reasons because he lives in Australia, but this fan burned a series of our work to disk, and they gave that data, they gave that information to someone who was a young lady who was in a dark place, and it helped her. She wasn't online. She would have never have found out about Rant Media or Sim or the shows or patrolling or any of that if it wasn't for this one guy. This one lone guy in Australia who, on another continent, just took something that we did that was free to help people and gave it to someone to help. That, to me, is the greatest reward of doing this. And when I got that letter, he sent me the letter and explained all this to me. When I got that letter, it touched me very, very deeply to know that someone I may never meet got through a really dark episode of their lives. People try to compare, psychological trauma. Like, oh, well, whatever, there's some people have this pain, some people have that pain. There's no measure for pain. Pain is it changes with each person. I mean, how much pain can you put in a glass? There's no meter for pain. There's no meter for the things in your life that hurt you. So one person's pain might be another person's, a mild annoyance, and one person's annoyance could be another person's agony. The fact that as a WOG myself, I was able to ease the suffering of a total stranger and receive no reward from that, that's the highest praise possible. My name's Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man.
So you say you gotta know why the world goes around, and you can't find the truth in the things you found, and you're scared shitless cause evil abounds. Come join us. Well, I heard you were looking for a place to fit